We need to get to the bottom of this. Why is everybody making it such a big deal? It's not that hard to start your own podcast. It's really not, especially when you have someone providing the studio, the equipment, they doing all the editing. Let's get to the bottom of this. Listen. And please, before I continue, make sure you send this video to like 3 people you know that is always talking about, oh, when I get my podcast, I'm gonna talk about, send it to 3 people, except for toxic men. Okay, we don't need any more toxic men on mics. I'm sorry, the money is not that good. I won't do it. But for real, what is it? Because if I'm providing the studio, I'm providing all the equipment, I'm providing all the editing, what is it? Because we all know those are the 3 most important things that you need to have a very successful podcast. You know, outside of figuring out what it is you're going to be talking about and the message that you're going to be spreading and hopefully positively impacting people, you need to have a really good background, a really good studio, a really nice set that actually meshes well with the personality and brand of your podcast. Everything got to be congruent. Everything need to be one. Once you get your background looking good, you're gonna need some great audio. You're gonna need some great audio, great visuals, a good camera, depending on if you have 2 or 3 people, different angles, different tripods, different SD cards. Come on, guys. I made a video about this. Please, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but there's a lot of things you're gonna need, but it can get done. Assuming that this is just a simple podcast, 1 to 2 people, and you have 1 to 2 cameras, you really need to make sure that the audio is on point, because this is not just a visual podcast, it's also audio, you know, and you can't compromise. People are going to be listening to you, especially if you plan on talking for more than 30 minutes. They need to be able to hear you good. So you're going to need to choose between wireless microphones or even microphones like this on a stand. I definitely in the previous video talked about different brands you can choose from. So please, if you want an in-depth video talking about which specific ones to choose from, please go ahead and check out that video. But having great audio really does matter. And if you're in a place where you're recording and sometimes there is background noise, please don't worry about that, because if you have quality mics and you have a good board that is picking up the audio like a Rodecaster Pro, you will be able to do like a noise reduction or a reduced noise later on in post when you're editing. So don't worry about it. But the cleaner that we can get in pre-production during the podcast shooting, the better. Next, when it comes to producing your podcast and you don't know where to start, so a lot of the things that I feel like trip people up is like the editing. That could kind of be a little bit complicated, but luckily there is softwares that make that a lot easier. I like to edit my podcast using Adobe Premiere Pro and using my secret sauce. I can't tell y'all what it is, but just know it took editing podcast videos that were an hour long. And imagine, just because the video is 1 hour long, the final video, that does not mean it took me 1 hour to edit it. It probably could have took me 8, but using this new thing that I got really only took me about 20 minutes. And then after that, I was actually 1 hour and 20 minutes, because then I will sit down for that hour and watch it just to be thorough. Make sure you're not slipping on the thumbnails. The thumbnails are very important. I'm no graphic designer. I never wanted to be a graphic designer. I don't even want to go to school for graphic design. I want to make money to hire someone who went to school for graphic design. So if you're someone like me, Canva is going to be one of your best friends. And make sure you use like a cookie cutter type of template for your thumbnails, so that way you don't have to use too much brain energy that you could be putting into your podcast to be doing something that you really don't need to be doing, like creating a crazy, amazing thumbnail. Like it gotta look good. It needs to look like quality, but don't put your entire life energy there. We have to keep the ball rolling. Another thing that in addition to thumbnails, you gotta clip up your episodes, man. You gotta clip up your episodes. You need to have things that are in the vault that you are ready to release to keep this episode promoting, keep it going. So the most interesting parts of your podcast that you highlight, make sure you create short reels, short clips, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, up to 1 minute and 30 seconds. Or if it was really spicy, shoot, man, 5 minutes, I don't know. But make sure that you are clipping up segments from your episodes, and you are using them to promote your podcast throughout the week until the next episode. That's how you stay relevant towards your audience or relevant in front of your audience. Next, when it comes to producing, I don't think I talked about lighting, so I'm just gonna briefly touch it. But when it comes to lighting, you wanna make sure that if you don't have, like, if you can't break the bank and get some Amrans, maybe get some newer box lights. And if you don't have that, your next best option is natural lighting. Natural lighting is amazing. The only thing that kind of sucks about natural lighting is the fact that sometimes, like, if cars are passing by or clouds are going, it can be a little bit inconsistent. But if you play your cards right, you should be just fine. I don't think there's anything else I need to talk about today in this video that I haven't said in any other videos, because starting a podcast is super easy. If you have an idea, you have a message you want to push out there and it's not negative, it's not toxic, holla at me. I'm ready to produce your show and make sure that you land right in front of the people that you need to be speaking to. It's really just that simple. All the equipment you need, all the cameras you need, all the mics you need, the setting you need, the vibe you need, it's all here. So with that being said, it's JustRislanca, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.